Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, in our studio. Here we have a special guest, Leda Sidenval, 22 years old, from Södertörn University first year. And today we have to make some comparisons between Sweden and Russian student life. So, are you ready? My first question. Why you chose journalism as your future profession?
I actually started studying in Lund, and I started studying history. So I have a bachelor's degree in history. And at first, I was thinking to go through with that, but then I decided I always been interested in telling stories and like communicating with other people. And I also tried working as a substitute teacher, and always been the same area, kind of like this telling stories. And I just landed in that writing stories to reach more people than like in journalism. I wanted to to share, and I wanted to use like my previous degree in reaching out to people in some way.
So clear. But what challenges may face a young professional as a journalism after graduating university?
Well, in Sweden, the situation for journalism is a very complicated, the media situation, or it's very there's a lot of magazines like dying out and so on, because I think we have the same problem as many Western countries and so on, and yeah, newspaper dying, and the whole situation is changing very fast. So a lot of people that are journalists actually don't have jobs, and but it's also like this opportunity to find new paths to express the written word and to reach people. So I think it's an interesting situation, but you also have to learn how to reach out. You have to be like this multi-journalist, so you have to be able to use all these new tools of expression and so on. And so it's I think it becomes more and more creative in a more like
new technologies, something like that. Okay. So, but it is easy to be a student, a journalism student in Sweden. How does the state helps you?
Well, I like as a student generally in Sweden, I think we have a very good opportunities, because we have half of we can get part of it is a loan from we have and part of it is like founded by the state. So we have like 10,000 crowns a month if you want to have the loan as well. And a lot of Swedes actually have this take this loan because it's felt very beneficial, and they pay it off until they're like 40 or something. But it's but it's actually very good. So most people do it anyway. So and I think that we have so much like courses to choose from, and we have very like it's a culture in Sweden that you should go to university, even though it might not always lead to a job, because that's also a problem. I mean, it's more like the practical, more professions are doing better than academical. So I mean, we need more electricians and plumbers and so on.
Oh, nice.
So
So, is it true that Sweden don't go to the university straight after graduating high school, so they may wait for a couple of years, you know?
oh yeah, I think that's pretty common. I mean, some people go straight to university. I did, but a lot of Swedes want to go traveling around the world, and maybe they work and earn some money. And I think that a lot of Swedes are tired after high school. You know, they get tired of school. So I think it's also like this culture that you should go out and meet people from other cultures and
to be well prepared for the
create
university.
memories and so on. Yeah.
Yeah, but so it's a question, philosophical question: career or family? What's important here
In Sweden.
in Sweden? Yeah.
I think that traditionally, you know, you see Sweden as that we have been very focused on careers and so on, and I think that's fairly true if you compare to other countries and so on. But my generation is also called like the 90s, born in the 90s, are also called we are like the safety generation, and it also has to do with the job situation in general and the world and in Sweden. And you see that the jobs are disappearing and so on, and a lot of people are children to divorcees and so on. And that's an explanation that could be true, that you seek more, you want a job, and you want to have your family and your friends, and have more of a like
Oh,
good life, I think. So,
yeah, I
um,
understand.
but it is all differs a lot to the country as well. So,
Okay, thank you, Elena,
yeah,
for the conversation. We'll see you.
thank you.
It's all?
Hello and welcome. Today we're talking to Vadim. He's a 20-year-old journalist student from the University of St. Petersburg. And we're going to continue talking about student life in Russia now.
Yeah.
So, Vadim, what would you say? How is the student life in Russia?
How is student life?
Yes.
So it's pretty interesting, you know. It's all about youngsters. St. Petersburg is a young city. We have a lot of pleasure. So, and university give us a lot of opportunities from sport to studies. So we have quite quite enough time to decide what we want, and you know, it's all about your interests and imagination. You may do whatever you want, and that's really interesting and cool to be a student in Russia.
Okay. Do you have some sport that yourself or?
Yeah, I practice
say something?
badminton,
Mhm.
tennis, you know, but yeah, that's all.
All
And
right. Sounds like fun. So, how's the living situation for Russian students?
the living situation, so we have dorms,
Mm?
dorms in the center of St. Petersburg for humanitarian. So we have humanitarian faculties departments and departments like mathematics, chemistry. So we have maybe three kind of dorms. The first one is the center, and the second one where I live is in the Peterhof, is around 40 kilometers from the center. So it took 2 hours to go to the university.
2 hours?
2 hours,
Wow.
yeah, by bus and by metro. It's quite boring but interesting. It's romantic, you know. So dorms are quite well, and we have a lot of.
Do you share dorms with others, or do you have
Yes.
your own room, or how
For
is it?
example, in one block it has a kitchen, a bathroom, and we have two rooms. One room with two beds, two persons, and one room with three persons.
Okay.
So the room is quite comfortable and wide,
Mm.
really nice.
But you get to know a lot of people then, I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how does the future for Russian journalists look, or for a student like yourselves?
You know, as you thought about Sweden, Russia as well needs some professionals, you know, quite professionals, and in this field too, it's all about personality, you know. If you're a clever person, you will find the job quite fast. So you have to pull the trigger. You have to find any solutions to have a lot of accountability, and then if you are smart, you will find the job
Okay. Yeah.
as well.
Mm. We talked earlier about that, but Russians, you are 20 years old, and you're in your first year at the journalist program.
Yeah.
Is that a common like
It's
age
really
to start? Or?
No, it's uncommon because I have a lot of friends who are at the same age with me, and they graduating already. They have master degrees, so that's really terrible. People ask me how old are you, and they really wonder. I'm 20 years old, and I'm first year bachelor degree. It's uncommon.
Okay.
Really uncommon.
So how early do people usually start, and why is that, do you think?
You mean when?
When do they go to university? What age? Or?
It depends. For example, they may go to school at 6 years old, then graduate at being 16 or 17 years old. So, and then they go to university at 17 years old and graduate at bachelor degree at 20, 21.
Okay.
It's as usual.
Yeah.
As usual situation.
Why do you think that is, or why do you think people start so early to go to?
That's Russian mentality, Russian reality.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's good, really. It's good because we should get elder. We should get elder, yeah. I think that's not common to be a student in maybe 30 years, being 13 years old. So it's uncommon for Russians. So we have to build up family, and you know,
And do you think
That's the
that
reason.
you are more oriented towards family or to career and so on?
Yes, we made step by step, you know. For
Mm.
example, after graduating school, we go to the university, and then we became a personality with work, and then we have family. So
Mm.
that's
Okay.
Russian
Yeah.
traditions.
Okay. Thank you very much for being here,
Well,
and
welcome.
thank you all and good night.
Thank you.